Will counsel for the plaintiff please call their first witness?
Your Honor, I'd like to call to the stand Mr. Robert Ramirez.
Mr. Ramirez, please take the stand.
Mr. Ramirez, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. I'd like to ask you a few questions about your background, then about the events that brought us here today, then a few questions about your physical condition, and then a few wrap-up questions. Would you please state your name for the record?
Robert Ramirez, Sr.
And how old are you, Mr. Ramirez?
26.
26. Do you have a family?
One son, Robert Jr.
Robert Jr. How old is he?
6 years old now.
Right. And are you married?
I'm a widower.
I'm sorry to hear that. What was your wife's name?
Her name was Maria.
How long were you married?
About 8 years.
Okay. And what did you do for a living to support your family?
I'm a carpenter.
Carpenter. So you work with wood?
Actually, I work mainly with sheetrock.
Sheetrock.
I do.
Okay. But you're a carpenter.
Well, my union title is carpenter, but I work with sheetrock.
I see. And what type of tools do you use hanging sheetrock?
Well, the sheetrock itself, obviously, I use the plaster. I have some putty knives and some knives for cutting the sheetrock.
So what type of knife do you use hanging sheetrock?
Utility knife.
Utility knife. Would it be something like this utility knife?
Yes, sir.
With a retractable blade? Thank you. Now, I'd like to tell me, if you could in your own words, about the evening of December 6th, 1996. How did your evening start out?
Well, the offending question started really, I guess, when I went over to my friend Louis' house.
Okay.
And, I went over there to play some cards, played some rummy. Another one of my buddies was over there, Joseph, and so we all played cards, we watched the game.
And who was playing?
I think it was the Bulls in Cleveland.
NBA game?
Yes, sir.
I see. So you went over to Louis' house, Joseph was there, played some cards, watched the game, and then what did you do next?
Yeah, I also brought a 6-pack of beer. We each had a couple of those.
So you had a couple of beers that evening?
Yes, sir.
I see.
And then after that, we decided to go to a bar, something we like to do. So.
Did you drive there?
Yes, sir. Actually went in Louis' car, I think it was. We all went over there and...
Did you drink at the bar?
I had a couple of scotch and waters.
All right. And then what did you do next?
Well, we actually went over to another bar.
And did you drink there?
Another couple of scotch and waters there. And then, well...
And, I'm sorry, and then about what time did you leave that second bar?
I think it was about midnight or 1.
Midnight or 1 o'clock? All right.
So, something...
And then what happened next?
We decided to go over to the park and do some foot racing, because we're real competitive. We like to do that. So
I see.
Yeah. So we ran 50 yards, and I won the race.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then actually Louis drove us back over to his house.
Okay. If I could interrupt you for just a moment, what time did you get to Louis' house that evening?
It was around 3 o'clock in the morning.
No, I'm sorry. Initially, to watch the game and play cards.
About 8 o'clock.
About 8.
The game started.
So you got there a little before 8. So between 8 a.m. and what time did you say you left the park?
About 3 o'clock.
So from 8 p.m. to 3 a.m., you had how many drinks?
About 6.
About 6. 6 of the most?
Yes, sir.
I see. I'm sorry. Continue. So you left the park, and then what happened next?
Well, Louis drove back over to his house to get my car, and I was going to head straight back home to my family.
And what happened on the way home?
On the way home, it turns. It's right after I turned left on California that there was this car in front of me.
And where on California was this?
Well, I was heading down the road toward Evergreen Street. I think it was about 4 blocks before I hit Evergreen.
All right.
That this car was in front of me.
And what type of car was it?
Chevy sedan, I think it was. Something.
Anything remarkable about this car?
No, ordinary car.
I see.
Ordinary car. It was driving 5 to 10 miles an hour, very, very slow. And Chicago traffic annoys me. I honked my horn a few times and he wouldn't get over. So,
They didn't. You honked and they did not move.
yes, sir.
I see.
So
Did you try to go around the vehicle?
I did. I turned up the garage, tried to go and pass him.
And what happened then?
Well, as soon as I turn left, this guy turns left in front of me.
I see.
I can't go around him. So,
What happened next?
well, I go back and he goes back and I try to do it again. I tried to do that a couple more times and he just won't let me go around it. So I'm honking my horn. I actually start trying to yell at him, see if he can hear me.
I imagine that was very frustrating for you.
Very frustrating. It was late, I was tired. Chicago traffic's annoying anyway.
I see.
Anyway, so after 4 blocks of this monotonous, slow driving, he turns onto Evergreen. And
And he's turning right onto Evergreen?
turning right onto Evergreen.
I see.
So I'm tired of this guy. I want to give him a piece of my mind. So
I understand.
I turn onto the street, and he actually does pull over at that point.
Right.
I pull over along next to him, and I roll down my window, and I start yelling at him.
Okay. Were there? How many people were in the car?
2, it looked like.
Did you see the driver?
I could see the driver, yes, sir.
Is the driver present in the courtroom today?
No, sir, he's not.
He's not. Are you sure to take a look?
So actually, the driver is here today.
Yeah, and could you point him out, please?
It's right over there.
Please let the record show that the plaintiff pointed to Officer Levy. And continue. Was there anyone else in the vehicle?
Yes, sir. I found out that it was his assistant, his partner.
His partner. And is he present in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Could you please point him out for us?
Right here.
Please let the record show that the plaintiff indicated Officer Waldman. Please continue. So you pulled up alongside this vehicle, and then what happened next?
After I started yelling at him, he turns his car off. He gets out of his car, goes and stands in front of his car. I got in my car and stand in front of it, and we get to arguing. I tell him, he's trying to get me just to go out, get out,
Yes.
and leave, but I say to him, you need to apologize for that. I'm tired of the Chicago traffic. I'm tired of you crazy drivers.
Mm-hmm. And
apologize, or you're going to be sorry.
okay. What happens next?
After I said that, he reached over. He punched me in the face.
He punched you in the face.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then what happened next?
Well, I punched him back.
Okay.
Got into a scuffle.
Sure.
And it gets kind of violent.
Did he say anything to you other than the argumentative words?
No, sir.
Okay. Let's continue.
I'm going to get in and drive. That's it. But yeah, we were between his cars, and he actually knocks me down, and my head hits the bumper of the car.
Yes.
And I'm on the ground. He's actually on my back on the ground now, and he's on top of me. We're still fighting. And then, then he says he's a police officer.
He did.
Yes, sir. So at that point I stop. I don't want to get in trouble with the police. I stop and I say, well, show me some ID, show me some authentication or whatever.
And did he show you his identification?
He didn't. He never did. But he got up at that point, and I thought, the fight's over. I'm just going to get up too. So I turn over my stomach and I start to get up, and I felt like somebody kicked me.
Had someone kicked you?
No, sir.
What did happen?
I got a bullet in my back.
I see.
So I see this other pair of boots next to me. And I look up and I ask him, why did you kick me? But I start to black out.
And then what happened next?
Well, as I'm blacking out, I hear somebody say, should we just leave him here?
And then you lost consciousness?
I lost consciousness.
Okay, then what do you remember next?
The next thing I know, I'm waking up. It's all kind of a blur, but I remember lights, lots of people around me.
Where were you at that time?
The hospital, I presume.
I see. Now, can you tell me briefly about your medical treatment from that point on?
I was in intensive care unit for 2 weeks. After that, when I got to the hospital, they told me I had lost 4.5 pints of blood.
I see.
From a shot. They told me the bullet had entered my shoulder and pieces had lodged in my heart. It was surgery involved in that. I was in the hospital for another month, and
How long was it before you were able to return to work?
about 6 months.
Okay. What is your physical condition at this time, if you can tell me briefly? What are your limitations?
Well, my real limitation, my real practical limitation is at work. I can't, sheetrock is heavy. I work with sheetrock, and I have to lift it up above my head. I can barely lift my arms above my head, not holding anything. If I try to lift something, I can't do that.
And what's the cause of that limitation?
I think it's injury to my shoulder muscles, is what they tell me.
And what caused that injury to your shoulder muscles?
A bullet.
I see. I'd like to ask you just a few more questions here to wrap up. I hold in my hand, let the record show I'm holding in my hand Defendant's Exhibit A. Have you ever seen this knife? Please take a look at it, take a moment.
Yes, I have seen this knife.
And when did you first see that knife?
In the previous trial.
I see. Do you own a knife like this?
No, sir.
Have you ever owned a knife like this?
Never, sir.
Did you own a knife like this in the month of December of 1996?
No, sir.
All right. Just two final questions. Do you speak Spanish?
Not at all.
All right. And are you right-handed or left-handed?
I'm actually left-handed.
All right. Thank you very much.